Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, for another video. Let me start by saying I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I have any financial experience whatsoever. Do not invest in anything solely based off my opinions or anything that I say in this video until you've done your own research and your own due diligence first. Never throw in money that you are or more money than you are willing to lose. My apologies. Never invest in anything that you do not understand until you have a firm understanding of that. With that being said, I actually wanted to talk about a document that I came across. Actually, somebody sent this over to me in regards to Project Cedar. So basically, the New York Innovation Center, which is a part of the Federal Reserve of the Bank of New York, actually basically did a project. They were researching different efforts in order to develop a technical framework for a theoretical CBDC here in the United States. For those that don't know what a CBDC is, it's basically a type of digital bank reserve held at a central bank to do effective wholesale transactions. Obviously, we know Ripple focuses on wholesale. Stellar obviously is focused more so on retail aspect. Now, with that being said, they are working on helping facilitate a safe, rapid, efficient transfer of central bank liabilities in order to utilize this technology. Obviously, distributed ledger technology is involved, and it does offer transparency, resiliency, as well as programmability. I think it was in China, if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about a programmable digital yuan, if I'm not mistaken, where you either spend it, you use it, or you lose it, essentially. So obviously, this could have its positive effects, it could have its negative effects. This isn't really, the focus of this video. So they actually have different phases. Mainly talked about phase one, where they examined using DLT specifically, and specifically blockchain, I'm sorry, to enhance these wholesale cross-border payments. The main focus was FX transactions for phase one. So let me start with the article. I'll also post this in the link below as well, so in case you guys want it to look over yourself. It's 12 pages, so it's not too long. Phase one was a successful 12-week undertaking demonstrating the viability of this technology to enable instant and atomic settlement in a simulated foreign exchange spot transactions between the New York Fed and counterparties across separate homogeneous ledgers. Now, instant and atomic settlement. Obviously, know this requires distributed ledger technology. Okay, I mean XRP literally settles in 3 to 5 seconds. Stellar, I'm pretty sure, is up there too. I mean, obviously, it's taken from the code from the XRP ledger. So just as a thought. Phase one of the Project Cedar experiment examined the potential application of distributed ledger technology, specifically blockchain, to enhance the functioning of wholesale cross-border payments, as I mentioned prior. These objectives were selected both because they address known issues of speed. We've mentioned this before. Speed is a problem. People are not getting their money efficiently. They're not getting it timely. It's taking time, hence why they're testing this technology out. And usually when they tell you they're testing it, 9 times out of 10 they're already done the testing. That's just how I think. I'd rather be one step ahead than one step behind. That's just my perspective on that. But these objectives were selected both because they address known issues of speed and access mechanisms in wholesale cross-border transactions, and because they represent core value propositions of DLT in a CBDC use case. This is going to be very important. Some of these cryptocurrencies, and there are quite a few, it's a high number. You can literally just go to coinmarketcap.com. 9 times out of 10, there's not that many use cases, just being honest. So I recommend you guys look into the technologies, have a use case, they're actually trying to tackle a real problem, a real world problem. Those are going to be the ones that pretty much sustain and last in the long haul. Okay, so some of these pump and dumps, those are going to be gone at some point. Eventually, at some point, this stuff is going to be regulated. I mean, obviously, we know we're waiting on regulations. I think regulations are done. They're just waiting to roll it out for whatever time frame they're looking at. They want to make sure that they pinpoint it at just the right time in order to do so. But long term, I'm looking at utility projects. Something that has utility, solves a problem, an issue is something that's required that actually makes that issue, no more an issue. Whether it's like VeChain, ISO tokens, things like that. Obviously VeChain focuses on like supply chain, etc., like that. So I just find it as an interesting article, and it talks about cross-border payments, obviously, specifically, and we know Ripple and Stellar are focusing on cross-border payments, so, I mean, there's no other company that even mentions cross-border payments, so just as a caveat, which are basically financial transactions conducted between central banks, corporations, etc., and that can be wholesale or retail. Like I said, Ripple is focusing more on the wholesale side, financial institutions, banks, etc., and then Stellar is focusing more on the retail side, which is the front end. So the FX market, I don't know if anybody knew this, I actually didn't know this myself, is the largest market in the world with a daily turnover of $7 trillion. Now, currently, FX transactions, spot transactions, anyways, take 2 days in order to settle. Obviously, if you utilize, XRP or XLM, you don't have to wait that 2 day time frame. It literally settles in seconds. Okay, so that's why they're saying that they're testing this technology. There's other projects and stuff that they're looking into as well. Obviously, you just have to do a little research, but I found this as a pretty interesting article myself. And then if you go down to page 7, you go down to experiment design. So it says there is a distributed ledger technology for solution for wholesale FX settlement. Wonder what that might be. That results in instant and atomic settlement, in which a CBDC is the settlement asset. I don't know how much more I can stress this. Definitely research some of these things. They're dropping these breadcrumbs. Obviously, they're not all gonna. They're not gonna put them all on the plate for you. Like, hey, here you go. You need to see this article. You need to see this article. You need to see this article. It does take a little bit of digging in order to find some of these things. They do have test pilots. Obviously, this is an example. There's other ones as well. I'll probably touch on in the future. But phase one, it was designed around a multi-ledger construct. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be one winner per se. I think there will be multiple. Like I said, I think ISO 20022 is going to be those that really stick with us in the long term. That's XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, IOTA, HBAR, Quant. You might be able to throw VeChain in there. That's not ISO, but it's coming. Okay, right now they're weeding through all the bad apples and they're trying to get to the fruit. Okay, and I think XRP and XLM is going to be that tree that bears some real serious fruit in the future. That's just my opinion. So in regards to Project Cedar, I can read to you the results as well. Here we go. Test results from the experiment revealed that the blockchain-enabled payment system settles transactions in fewer than 10 seconds on average. Fewer than 10 seconds. How many cryptocurrencies do you know can settle in fewer than 10 seconds? It ain't Bitcoin. It ain't Ethereum. But I digress. On average, and that throughout across the system increases as additional currencies are included. This indicates that a modular ecosystem of ledgers has the potential for continued scalability. Scalability is important, okay? Y'all need to look at some of these cryptocurrencies y'all are investing in. If it's not scalable, it's not going to be a wide-scale solution for anything, especially when it comes to payments. Just something to keep in mind. And the DLT could enable atomic settlement faster than the current industry standard of 2 days. Should processes that were abstracted in the phase 1 prototype, such as compliance checks and market making, be similarly streamlined? They test these things out on a small scale, and then, obviously, once they start with the small scale, then they can implement it on a larger scale. It does take time to do these things. I think people don't realize that, and, it's not something that happens overnight. I know a lot of people, they're trying to make money overnight. They're like, hey, yeah, this person invested in this crypto, and they made, $1 million in like 3 months. Like, okay, cool, but you have to be able to catch these gems, and you have to realize the value in the actual protocol. And I think at some point, people are going to realize, especially in regards to XRP, Ripple, the company, like they're going to be monsters in this space. Okay, like I don't know how else to put that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, you're not going to sway my opinion. You can give me any kind of article you want. 9 times out of 10, I can probably debunk some of these things people are saying about XRP. And this whole misinformation thing, I don't know. I don't know what it is, And I think banks are slow to use this technology because they're kind of used to the status quo. They want to always have control. Obviously, if you have, distributed ledger technology, they don't have that same control over you. So it's like, it's just something to keep in mind. But I found it as an interesting article. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. I'm going to pin it in the description as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with someone, change their life. Continue to stack your bags. I'm still shooting for November. If not November, then maybe December timeframe. Who knows? But, I really think this thing is going to be bigger than people think. I know Eurozone is saying that they're postponing. I believe, who else? I think Swift said they were postponing to March as well. But I actually want to leave you guys with this thought, just to end this video. Give me one moment. Someone dropped it in a group that I'm in. Here we go. What if this Ripple versus SEC case that's ongoing, been going on for 2 years now, doesn't end in November, but the switch still gets hit, and Oh, I'm sorry. And the case, my apologies, ends once the price is crazy high. And they only relist XRP once the price is high. So the only thing that most can and will do is cash out. So in my theory, whatever amount you have before the flip is all you will be able to have. This is just something to keep in mind. Obviously, there's different circumstances that can happen. Nobody knows, but I just want to, I just want you to think about that, and post your comments in the description below. I'd love to hear. Well, that's the last thing. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share with someone you love. Thanks so much for your time. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks so much to all the new subscribers as well. I definitely appreciate it. Wouldn't be here without y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Change someone's life. ISO GOAT out. Catch y'all on another one.